Welcome to the Minute of Terror channel. Leave your like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment where you are watching this video from. My name's Mark. I'm 48 years old, and I've been a truck driver for over 20 years. I've crisscrossed the country, hauling through mountains, deserts, you name it, dealing with potholes, bandits, and highway patrols. But what I'm about to tell you, it's burned into my memory forever. It was a freezing early morning, somewhere near the outskirts of a small town off Interstate 40, in the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. If you've been around, you know that stretch of road has a reputation. Spooky stories, folks vanishing, wrecks with no explanation, bodies never found. I always thought it was just trucker talk, stuff to scare the new guys. I was hauling a load from Phoenix to Albuquerque, driving solo. It was past midnight, radio off, just the hum of the engine keeping me company. The fog was so thick I could barely see 10 feet ahead. And that silence, you know the kind, the heavy quiet you only get on a lonely road in the dead of night. Then I saw her, a woman, standing on the shoulder. Long white dress, dark hair half covering her face. She looked out of place. I eased off the gas, almost stopped, but something held me back. A woman alone in that darkness? It didn't add up. Then she raised her arm, signaling for a ride. I don't know why. Maybe I felt bad leaving her out there, or maybe my mind was playing tricks. But I pulled the rig over. I rolled down the passenger window and called out, "You okay? Need help?" She didn't say a word, just nodded and pointed toward the cab. I unlocked the door. She climbed in, silent, and sat there, staring straight ahead, still as a statue. Her skin was pale, like she was sick or something. But what got me was the smell, damp, like wet earth mixed with something sour. You ever get that gut feeling something's off, but you can't put your finger on it? I tried making small talk. Where you headed? Nothing. I tried again. Want me to drop you at the next truck stop? She just sat there, hands in her lap, clutching a white rosary. I kept driving. That stretch was rough. Tight curves, a couple of tunnels. With every mile, I felt more uneasy. I glanced at her out the corner of my eye, and she seemed lifeless. I can't explain it. No movement, no blinking, nothing. Then we hit the first tunnel. As the truck plunged into the dark, a bone-chilling cold hit me, like I'd cranked the AC to Arctic levels. I looked over at the passenger seat, and she was gone. I slammed on the brakes, pulled onto the shoulder, heart pounding. I got out, grabbed my flashlight, checked in the truck, around the area, nothing, no sign of her. I stood there for a good few minutes, tried to make sense of it. Was I so tired I imagined it all? No way. I smelled her. I saw that rosary in her hands. Shaking, I climbed back into the cab. The passenger seat was wet, like someone soaked had been sitting there. And on the dashboard was that white rosary. I couldn't breathe. I started the engine and peeled out of there as fast as I could. About 20 miles later, I pulled into a truck stop to grab a coffee and calm down. I told the cashier what happened, and he just shook his head, giving me that look like he'd heard it before. "You're not the first," he said. "Lots of drivers have seen her. They say years back, a bride was in a wreck on this stretch, heading to Albuquerque. Her car flipped in that tunnel, killed her instantly. Folks say her spirit's still out there, hitching rides, try to finish her trip." I didn't want to hear any more. I finished my coffee and hit the road, but I swear to God, I've never driven that stretch at night again. I still have that rosary. Don't know why I didn't toss it. It's like a reminder of that night. Every time I look at it, I'm reminded. The road holds secrets we'll never understand. I'm pushing 65 now. Kid, been a cab driver since my 20s. Let me tell you, I've seen it all on these streets. Good folks, Bad folks, drunks, crazies, thieves. But what I'm about to share, I'll never forget it. Never will. This was about 30 years back, give or take. No apps back then, none of that. It was all about waiting at the cab stand or getting a call through the radio dispatcher for a fare. That night, it was one of those cold, dark nights with a light drizzle, just enough to make everything feel gloomy, heavy, you know? It was late, close to 2 a.m. I was at the cab stand near the Old Oak Cemetery. You know the place? Always felt like it had a weird vibe, but you get used to it after a while. Don't pay it much mind. The radio crackled, and the dispatcher came through. Taxi 22, fare at Maple Square, passengers waiting. It was close, maybe a 5-minute drive. So I headed over. When I got there, man, the square was empty. Just an old bench under a big tree. Nothing else. I parked, kept the headlights on, and waited. Then out of nowhere, I heard the back door open. I swear, I didn't see anyone walk up, didn't hear footsteps. Just the door opening and closing. I glanced in the rearview mirror, and there he was, a guy sitting in the back. Dark coat, hood up, face mostly hidden. He was thin, kinda hunched, staring out the window. I said, "Evening, where we headed?" He answered, voice low, almost a whisper, "Elm Street." It was a quiet street, tucked away near the cemetery. I nodded. All right. I started the meter and pulled out. The silence in the cab was off. He didn't move, didn't say a word, just kept staring out the window, like he was, I don't know, somewhere else. Trying to break the ice, I said, "Chilly tonight, huh? This weather's relentless." Nothing, no response. I kept driving. The streets got emptier, darker, and look, I've driven through some rough parts of the city, but that night, something felt different. A bad feeling, you know, like you shouldn't be there. Then the meter went dead, just like that. I checked the dashboard. Gas gauge, zeroed out clock, frozen radio, silent. I stopped the car, looked at him in the rear view, and asked, "Hey, is this the spot?" He just nodded slowly and opened the door. He got out. I watched him walk away. Then I noticed he was heading straight for the cemetery wall. Not the main gate, but some side door I didn't even know was there. The weirdest part? That gate was chained and padlocked. But he walked right through it, like it wasn't even there. A chill ran up my spine. I froze. Didn't know if I should get out, follow him, or peel out. I just sat there, gripping the steering wheel, unable to move. Then, like a switch flipped, the meter came back on, the radio too, and the dispatcher's voice. "Taxi 22, you there? Got a fare for you at Maple Square." My blood ran cold. It was the same square I'd just picked him up from. I stammered into the radio. "But I just came from there." The dispatcher, confused, said, "What do you mean?" "Passengers waiting. Says they saw a cab drive by." I checked the clock. 2:15 a.m. The exact time I'd picked up that fare, or had I? I swallowed hard, threw the car in reverse, and got the hell out of there, not looking back. When I got home, I told my wife, and she said not to dwell on it, that thinking about it too much invites trouble. But I know what I saw and what I felt. Months later, I was talking to an older cabbie who'd been driving those streets for years. He told me about a guy named Mike, a night watchman, who got hit by a car years back, right by that side gate of the cemetery, heading home from work. Folks said ever since, he'd show up hitching rides and always vanish in the back seat before reaching his stop. I've never taken a fare in that area late at night since. Never. And look, even now, years later, sometimes when I pass through there, just cutting through, not picking anyone up, the meter, it flickers off. Then back on, all by itself. Coincidence? I don't know. But every time it happens, I think of that night, and I hit the gas, eyes straight ahead, never checking the rear view. My name is John Baxter. Bate on DCB. They call me Old Jota. For over 30 years, I've been hauling across backwoods, from soybeans to tractor patches, on the beach apiguais of the West. My home is the cab of my old Peterbilt, and my best buddies DCB radio, where I shoot the breeze with other truckers to keep the loneliness at bay. This happened about 5 years ago. On a night that she was stuck in my head, when I heard something can't explain to this day. It was a cold winter night, around 2 horas da manhã. On 80, a lonely street between Lincoln and Grand Island, Nebraska. The road was empty, just my Rodriguez listening through the dark and the engines hungry for company. It was tuned to channel 19. They will use to talk smack or call for help when a chill blows the tank runs dry. Out of nowhere, the radio whistled, a sharp scratch that nearly made me spill my coffee. Then I was, Breat's voice cut through. Anyone out there? Need help. My rig flipped at mile marker 230. I'm hurt, can't get out. For God's sake, someone come quick. Snapped to attention. He knew that straight dead man's curve. And Ashton knew where the road led. It you alive if you're not careful. He grabbed the Mickey engines with it. This is Old Jota. He hear ya. What is your name? Buddy, I'm about 20 miles out. Can be there in half an hour. Reg checked. But the radio went silent. He tried again. Called out. Asked for details. Nothing. Just static. Like the channel had swallowed the voice. Something about that correlated me. It was just the desperation. It was how the voice sold the distant, muffled, with an echo that didn't edge up. But I'm a road dog, and on the road, you don't leave a brother engine. He gripped the wheel, floored it, and headed for mile marker 230. While driving, he tried raising other truckers on the channel, but no one's vered. Because that time of night, there's always someone on, even if it is just to crack jokes or grip about hates. He reached dead man's curve about 25 minutes later. The moon was full, ligating up the road like that time. And there it was, a wrecked semi-down in the ditch, trailer flipped, with a load of lumber scattered across the slope. They smelled like diesel, mixed with something could place metallic, almost rotten. He climbed out, grabbed my flashlight, and showed her. Hey, buddy, I'm here. Where you at? Nothing. Just the wind whistling through the tall grass. He got closer to the wrecked rig, an old Mack, cab crumpled. The driver's door was open, but no one was inside. No blind, no tracks, just silence. He swept the flashlight through the cab. There was a boosted CB radio, wires dangling, and a rosary engine from the rear view. Something buzzed me. The truck looked unseen, busted out like it had been sitting there for years. Dust coated the dash, and weeds were growing around the tires. It didn't make sense. How do you call for help on a broken radio from a rig that looked abandoned by Timmy? He got back to my truck and tried the CB again, but the channel was dead. He decided to stop at the next truck stop, about 10 miles up, to see if anyone knew about a recent wreck. At the stop, an old cashier, with a face like the city hall, gave him a funny look when he told him what happened. You had a call at mile 230, didn't you? He said, scratching his beard. You went the first. Couple years back, a trucker named Jojo Del flipped at that curve, died on impact, trapped in the cab. Since then, folks passing through night hear him call for help on the radio. That rig's still there. No one touched it. His words hit me like a ton of bricks, but he didn't say anything. He asked if Joe was big on the CB. The cashier nodded. Loved that thing. Always on there, helping out wherever needed it. They say he doesn't know he's gone. Keeps calling. trying to get saved. Hello, me dead in the eyes and added, if you hit it again, don't go. It ain't for the living. He hit the road, but that night changed something in me. It tried to brush it off. Keep rolling, but the CB felt different after that. Some nights, when he passed that street, the static kicks up and sometimes hear a whisper, not clear words, but enough to make me grip the wheel together. Once, stopped at that same track, stop and just the cachet if they ever moved the rig. He said they tried, but every time they kept the tow, the van would die, like something they didn't want it touched. I'm not one for ghost stories, but don't roll through dead man's curve without thinking of Joe. He should keep the CB on, but stay clear of channel 19 at night. And when the static starts, switch channels fast, because out on the road, not everything calling for help wants to be found.